Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Addison, whatever time you're listening, and thank you for joining us for our ASD Chat for All podcast. We have lots of fun and exciting things on the horizon for Addison School District 4, and this podcast allows us the opportunity to connect with our parents and guardians, families, and community to celebrate our students, their accomplishments, and so much more. Your hosts for this podcast are ASD4 Superintendent Dr. Nick Sutton and myself, Dean Constantopoulos. You interested in hearing more about what's going on in District 4? Come on in and have a chat. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of our ASD Chat for All podcast. My name is Dean Constantopoulos. I'll be one of your hosts this afternoon, and I'm joined with my co-host, Dr. Nick Sutton. You know, Nick, I got a question for you before we get started.
Here we go.
So what are you really excited about? What's one of the things you're really excited about for the start of the new school year?
You know, so all school administrators, for everybody out there, we have very seasonal jobs, and what I mean by that is what we do in July is different than what we do in December, and what we do in January is different than what we do in March. But I really like August because it's what everybody expects. It's kind of that excitement slash, I'm going to call it positive nervousness with kids coming. And I see it and I feel it. And now as we record this, I don't know when everybody will listen to this, but as we record this, it's August 1st. And with August 1st, I've had a lot of first days of school.
Yeah.
And I've had it both as a student back in the day and then teacher and now my role now. But that's where my brain goes, Dean, is I like this kind of fun, nervous excitement that kind of gets built up. It's almost like when somebody knows there's a birthday party coming up or they've got like a vacation coming up, they're excited.
Yes.
But there's that kind of nervous excitement that kind of connects to it. So I like that.
I like that. That's great. Well, you know what? I'm really excited about getting to meet all these new folks that are coming to join us in the district.
Well said.
And one of these new folks actually is sitting with us right now. So for everybody listening, here today we have with us Francie Capp. She's the new principal over at Indian Trail Junior High. So Francie, thank you for joining us and welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me here today. I'm excited to be a part of this podcast.
Awesome. Well, we're so happy to have you. So let's just hop right in with some of these questions. So first of all, we know who you are, but just for everybody listening who may not know, who are you? And then tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Okay, so Francie Capp. This is my first year as a principal. I'm very excited to be a part of the Indian Trail family. Prior to my experience here, originally I was a speech pathologist.
Oh, nice.
And I did several years working in classrooms at the elementary school level. From there, I moved on to the district office, and I was an assistant director for special education. And I worked a lot in self-contained programs. We worked with parents who had families with IEP services, individual education plans. We opened up 2 self-contained classrooms during my time there. But I was really missing being a part of the building. So I applied to be an assistant principal at Brooks Middle School in Bolingbrook, Illinois. I spent 7 years there. I learned so much. I had a great time while being there. And now I'm here for my new adventure.
Well, that's awesome. So it sounds like, from what you're saying, it sounds like you have a lot of experience just kind of across the board, being in the classroom as well as being in more administrative positions. So for anybody listening who's a teacher, actually, Francie would be a great person to reach out to because you have a lot of, because you've been in all these different positions, so you know what they're like. That's really good information. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, obviously, congratulations on joining what I think is the best district in the state of Illinois.
I would agree.
So, for everybody that's listening, I have no doubt that she's going to smile a little bit at my next question, but you're a very talented educator. So I guess I would be curious how you're going to answer, why did you choose Indian Trail Junior High? What got you interested in this position, and what made you excited to join this team?
I That's a great question. And yes, I'm already smiling. Well, I did my research. I spent a lot of time looking at this district. What drew me in was the community. I really liked the community events that were taking place. I knew that there were things happening at the town center over the summer. I liked the families that were responding on social media and talking about the different events, and they were helping each other out, asking each other, questions about the community. I immediately was drawn to that. And then once I started looking at the district, I was just interested in how there were 7 elementary schools, and then they fed into the middle school, and they all work so collaboratively together. And just the community and the diversity that is here is something that I really wanted to be a part of.
Well, thank you for that. So let me ask you this then. So I know that, and as I'm sure you've seen, there are tons of new things going on at the junior high. So for example, lots of new staff members. We've got a completely new round building to check out for anyone that hasn't seen it yet. We've got the Great Shake and lots of other things happening. So what are some things that you could tell us that you and the IT staff are looking to focus on more this year, particularly with our students?
Sure. 2 big things. The first thing really is we want to reestablish our routines, our procedures, what the expectations are in middle school. A lot of these students are coming from smaller schools and then coming into a big school. So really addressing what the expectations are in the building, how to be in the hallway, how, if you need to use the restroom, make sure you go right back to class, you're not missing time. Being respectful, being responsible, making sure you're safe. And the reason why we want to do that is so we can really prioritize on the academics.
Yeah. Well, I really like that. It's actually part of what our goal was for the Great Shake as well, is kind of focusing on these non-academic, on the more the non-academic side of things, because that really does build into the academic portion. So it's really nice to hear that we're focusing on the student as a whole as opposed to just the academics. That's really cool.
Yeah. I think the other piece, too, I forgot to mention, is just reestablishing those connections, those personal connections, and making sure our staff, whether it's a teacher or support staff, really taking the time to get to know the students and who they are and what their needs are, so then we can really take them places.
I love that. That's so cool.
Very cool. So, I remember back in the day being a new incoming principal, and I know with that, families are always excited to meet the new principal. So if there's any family members or parents out there of kiddos that are going to be coming to Indian Trail, what would you want them to know? What would you want them to remember if they listen to that podcast of why they should be excited that their kid is going to be hanging out with you here pretty shortly?
I think I would want them to know that their child is going to grow and they're going to change during these 3 short years, and we're going to make sure that they're successful and ready for high school.
I love that. That's perfect. So if any parents or anybody in the community wanted to talk to you a little bit more about sort of the ideas that you have for Indian Trail going forward, or if they just wanted to shoot the breeze with you, what is the best way that a parent or community member could get in touch with you?
They can reach out to me in whatever way is easiest for them. So if it's a phone call, if it's an email, if it's coming to the school, I will make sure that I set some time aside and meet with them. If they need a translator, if we need to find someone that can help communicate between the two of us, I'll make sure it happens.
Perfect. So then, Nick, same question for you. If somebody wanted to reach out to talk about anything Indian Trail or ASD4?
Absolutely. Like everybody here in the district, I've got district email in Sutton at ASD4.org. And what I need to get used to saying is usually it's the part where I say I'm lurking around Twitter, but now I'm lurking around X, I believe.
Right. Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
I spent time yesterday all of a sudden wondering what this new app was on my phone. So
I know.
I'll take some getting used to, but you can find me on X.
Yeah.
at Dr. Nick Sutton. Dean, same question to you.
You can also find me on X. I'm glad you said that because I was about to say Twitter again. No. But you can find me also on X at AddisonSD4. So, Francie, thank you so much for joining us. This is a lot of really great information, and I know that our parents are going to be excited to hear about it. So, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And for everybody listening, stay tuned for next time. Thank you for tuning in to our ASD Chat for All podcast. Check us out at www.asd4.org, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts for more. We'll be back soon with another episode, so stay tuned.